Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Opinion Stated, where I give unfiltered, opinionated sports takes. Let's go. Yo, what's good, everybody? My name is Cosmic. I want to welcome you back to my channel, Opinion Stated. I am joined here today by one of my favorite folks to talk sports and basketball with. My man Pierre. Pierre, what's good, brother?
What's going
Man,
on,
welcome to the
brother?
channel,
How
bro.
everybody doing? You know, Pierre, they call me the human almanac for basketball. That's unofficial. But thank you for inviting me here,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
to do this and just talk how we talk on the
Yeah,
basketball court,
that's
on the
it.
phone
That's
and
it.
group text.
I said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, man, be sure to do that. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Check out my other videos posted as well. Man, this is gonna be a barn burner today, man. It's gonna be part two actually of the 2024-2025 NBA premature season predictions show that I did, or episode that I did a few weeks back, maybe last week. So brought P in to do a part two. So he actually compiled a separate list, a different list for those who tuned into that episode, and for those who haven't, just as a recap, I compiled a list of predictions for Eastern Conference and Western Conference where I thought the teams would end up seeding wise, and Pierre put together a list as well. So kind of to compare our list, but I want you guys to just hear specifically from him. And this one, I might recap my list a little bit. But before we do anything, I want to make sure that we just kind of run down. We'll throw a graphic up here so that we can see it. But we'll just run down kind of what the standings look like uh, as the season ended last year. So just to start, just to recap, the Boston Celtics finished number one, 64-18 with a 64-18 overall record. The Knicks finished number two last season in the East. The Bucks finished number three. Cavaliers finished four. The Magic finished with the 5 seed. 6 seeded was the young Indiana Pacers, who outpaced everybody running up and down. Identical record they actually had with the Magic. The Magic, Pacers, and 76ers had an identical record, but the Sixers finished number seven in the number seven slot. Number eight was the Miami Heat. Number nine was the young Chicago Bulls, and number 10 was the Hawks, and that basically rounded out the top 10 in the Eastern Conference to get us into that play-in, tournament and situation before the playoffs actually kicked off. In the Western Conference, we saw the young Oklahoma City Thunder end at the number one seed, close, really P with the records, because I didn't even realize. That's why numbers kind of give context or statistics when you look at it. As a whole, the Nuggets and the Thunder actually finished with the same record. Thunder had the tiebreak.
Yeah,
So they finished number
they
two.
beat the I think they was tied in the season, but the common opponents, I think
Yeah.
OKC edged them out with that.
Yeah, so they had a similar, literally the same record, 57-25. So Denver finished number two. The young Timberwolves, just one game behind both the Thunder and the Nuggets, finished at the number three seed. Clippers finished four. The Mavericks finished number five overall. Six overall was our beloved Phoenix Suns, being here in Arizona. The Lakers finished at the number seven seed, and the young New Orleans Pelicans team, the Zion Williams-led Pelicans team, BI, as well, finished at number eight. Number nine was the Sacramento Kings, and then number 10 was the Warriors. Again, when the numbers, yes, just some context to the numbers, the Warriors and Kings finished with an identical record as well at 46 and 36.
Right.
So that's the top 10 in the West. And then we get to the meat and potatoes of why we're here. We want to talk about Pierre's 2024-2025 season predictions.
So,
see what you got for him. Eastern Conference. Let's start in the Eastern
Conference.
Conference.
Let's start with the East because I'm a Midwest guy. I'm an Eastern Conference guy anyway. You know what I mean? But number one team is Boston. They bringing back the same team. You know what I mean? Everybody got their money. Everybody got popped the champagne. It's only right for they the kings. They the champs. So you got to respect that. They the number one team in the East in my prediction because they have the same team. The only thing that'll get them out of that is Porzingis' health. But they'll be fine. Number two, I got Milwaukee. You know, it was a lot of moving parts in during the season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Health was an issue in the playoffs. I think they'll get it right. You know, my main man Darvin Ham is back. You know, in the mix. You know, he was
So
beloved.
Darvin's back in Milwaukee as an assistant. Oh,
Absolutely.
incredible,
Yeah,
incredible.
and
Has
so
a
you
great
know,
relationship with that team. Yeah.
yes, and he's beloved in Milwaukee. He was with us when we got the championship in 2021. So you know, we're excited about that. Now, the third team, I got the Knicks. You know what I mean? You can't deny what the Philly.
Got
I
Philly.
got
Okay.
Philly, and I got Philly is you know them and the Knicks is right there because Randall coming back, and then the trade for Paul George.
That's a huge trade.
That's huge, and then re-signing Kelly Oubre, and man, Maxi one more year, and the
Mm-hmm.
health of Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
They're really man. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, they can be number one or two. You know what I mean? Though they really made that move to solidify their place
Before
in
you
the
go to number 4, though, Pete.
okay.
So you have a wild card. You have this. You're really high on a player that not many people are actually speaking about with regards to this Philly mix in terms of a signing that they made in the offseason. Who's that wild card?
Trying to think. Oh
It's your
man.
big man, your guy,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Drumming.
Drummond.
He's
What do you
gonna.
think
Oh,
Andre
he's.
Drummond's going to add in terms of
Oh
value to that
man.
Philly team?
You know, he's gonna add that toughness. You know, rebounding and just defense. You
Do you
know
think he
that.
spells Embiid, or do you think he just gives Embiid with these intangibles or tangibles that you mentioned? Do you think that gives Embiid some time to rest off
Absolutely.
the court, meaning on the bench, and also on the court? Do you think that or which do you think is better? I guess is the question. Him giving Embiid time to rest on the bench while he comes in and does the blue collar stuff, or him actually being on the court with Embiid, so it takes some of the pressure off Embiid to have to do the dirty work.
Well, with Embiid, you know, he has those nagging injuries. You know, being 7 foot, man, you know, you have those kind of injuries. So I think it's good. It's going to help Embiid, you know, stay healthy. So on the bench, you know, that I'm
So give
pretty
him
sure
get him off that court,
get
get
him
him off
off
those
the
wheels, get him off those
yeah,
knees.
and with the signing of Paul George, the offensive load is lifted. Now they have a bona fide player that can get his own shot or play off the ball off Maxi when Embiid was on the bench because I think that's what their struggles was when Embiid was out the game. They struggled to score because he was 80 to 90% of their offense working in the middle of the floor. But with Paul George, now you got somebody that can get a bucket on
Right.
all three levels. And
Can I
Drummond,
add a bit of a caveat there?
absolutely.
I think, and I agree with the points that you made. What do you think? What do you think about the idea of Joel Embiid this season not putting up MVP numbers, so not actually putting out that max effort every single night to try to be the best big man or to be recognized as the best big man in the league, so putting up those MVP this kind of season that he's put together the last 2 years. What do you think about Embiid just kind of taking a step back because of the emergence of Maxi, the addition of Paul George? Do you think that Embiid should not, or will not?
I'm gonna be out. I think he should just keep doing his thing. You know what I mean?
You don't think that'll be a detriment in terms of all this, the health issues, the health scares, and stuff like that? Because if they pull back from Embiid a little, then Embiid, the chances and likelihood of him, being injured. That's the reason I'm bringing it up.
Well, I think that he's gonna be able to rest with the addition of Drummond and the addition of Paul George offensively. See that everybody think offense. Drummond is a defensive player. He cleans the glass, rebounds and blocks, and he's a big body.
That Detroit version of Drummond, though.
There you go. If we could
That's
get
what we
that,
need.
if we need
Man, that'll
that,
be
yeah,
big.
that'd
That'll be
be
big.
awesome
Okay,
because
okay.
he was 17 and 12, and he got the record for the most 20 rebound games.
How
in
far
Detroit.
removed is Drummond from that 17-12 in your opinion? Kind of a stat line.
if he could get you 10 and
I'm
10,
not saying 17 and 12 in Philly, but I'm saying how far removed as a player do you think he is in terms of capacity? Do you think he's still on that level where he could give out that kind of output to still get solid or close to a double off the bench?
Defense is about effort. So
Okay.
if he come in training camp in shape,
Cool.
and he have Nick Nurse have him with the right mindset, guess what? You're gonna get that
You'll get that
drumming
max
because
effort.
he's gonna be motivated.
Cool.
Those stints in Chicago and stuff, he wasn't really playing.
All right.
Like,
all right. I can go with that.
So
Philly stand up.
I think he'll be ready to play.
Philly stand up. We getting off this Philly train.
Yeah.
No one y'all think we Philly fans over here. We're not.
Nah.
I'm not a fan of any team. He's a Milwaukee fan. You can see the cross
fan,
straight up. But that's a good endorsement for Philly. Philly, I'm really high on Philly this season. Also, I think I had them somewhere on my list, pretty tops too. I'll add the graphic at the end. But yeah. So that's Philly at number 3, solid.
Yeah. So
potential for you, like you said, to be either one or two.
Either one, depending
what about number
on
4?
Health. Number 4, of course, is the Villanova Knicks. You know what it is. You know what I mean?
The Villanova Knicks,
man.
New York, stand up.
New York,
bro.
stand up. Hey, man. I love the moves that they did. They definitely they made a splash, and you know what I mean. Going to
that roster looks good.
Oh man, it looks wonderful,
man.
And it's all effort players. Since we on that,
and good chemistry too. And then we know what that chemistry already looks like.
Right.
Well, we know what it looks like.
2 championships.
Yeah.
In college.
When those players weren't as good, because they've all improved since then.
Absolutely.
Especially Brunson, especially Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely understand that that's not a chemistry product.
Josh Hart
our project.
And DiVincenzo.
Right.
They've all improved.
That's
the thing. They all understand what their role on the team is. They give maximum effort on defense, and they have a leader who's blue collar and tough.
Suffice it to say then that the Knicks are like the wild of the wild cards in the East.
Yeah, because look at
the wildest of the wild.
Wow, it just bears
New York Knicks running wild this season.
Running wild. It's gonna be fun to watch because they was fun to watch
last
in
year.
The playoffs.
For sure.
It was fun.
For sure.
And,
what do you think about? So we mentioned the Villanova connection. What do you think value wise? What do you think value wise? The loss of Hartenstein and the potential gelling together of my favorite big man on the roster. What do you think that looks like?
Oh man, Mitchell Robinson is gonna do his thing. Too bad he got hurt, in the playoffs. But no, he fit right in, man. Because like I said, everybody knows their role and they do it to the best of their ability.
Okay,
you know what I mean. So Mitchell Robinson, he's gonna be great. All he gonna have to do is rebound and block a couple of shots, which he was doing.
He's capable of doing that.
He was doing that.
As that same kind of an element that you're mentioning for Drummond.
For Drummond, right.
But Mitchell Robinson already understands his role.
Right.
He'll play it to a T.
Exactly.
Who's the other? Who's the wildest of wild cards on that team?
Man, we ain't talking about
Put some respect on my man's name. Oh, OG Anunoby is.
He got hurt. If he wouldn't have got hurt, it would have been
OG Anunoby's.
Nice.
OG Anunoby.
OG.
Who else?
You got Bridges. That wing is gonna be nasty, and you got the wilds of the wilds is Josh Hart to me, because he maximum effort every game. So
what's the rest of that big man core looking like?
Man, let me see. They got one more big man. They got Julius Randle coming back.
Julius Randle's a throwaway? Because I just wanted you to say my man's name so that everybody can hear. Because I'm sure I can hear the Knicks fans through the screen being like, "What about Julius Randle?" And you ain't said nothing about him.
Yeah.
Was Julius Randle going to add to this mix, or even just the potential for him coming back playing like he was last season?
You got to think, man. He was on an all-star level. You know what I mean? And then he got hurt, so Brunson had to step up
and just be Brunson.
And be Brunson. But this, man, that's going to help tremendously because he necessarily is the number one option on that team because he can shoot the three. He's a bully in the post.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
He stays in the post.
He stays.
Stops living on that.
Thank you. Yeah, if he get on that left block, You know what I mean? And get that left, because you can't stop him from getting that left hand layup. If he get on that block, man, he's going to be a terror out there,
Yeah.
man. And
I think they'll run a lot. I think they'll run a lot this year.
you think, yeah,
I think
because
they'll
it's
run a
gonna,
lot.
you
So I think
know,
that'll actually help. That'll actually help Randall a bit more because I feel like their offense is going to be more transition offense. That's kind of what it
yeah,
looked like when Brunson was out there running the show without Randall,
right,
with them adding Bridges and them just being able to just get up and down, up and down, up and down. I think
right.
it better suits Julius Randall.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna be flying. I think you're right. They're gonna be flying around, man, because you got OG on one side, you got Bridges on the other one, then you got the energy of DiVincenzo and Hart, then you got the back line back there with Randall grabbing rebounds and Mitchell Robinson blocking shots, grabbing rebounds. Oh, they're gonna be a fun team,
All right,
man.
let's get off the Knicks. This ain't a Knicks
Yeah,
channel either.
yeah, it's not.
Knicks
Number
stand up.
Right, number 5, I got Cleveland.
Cleveland. Why Cleveland?
Man, they did some good things, man. They re-signed um, Donovan Mitchell, the Spider. So shout out to Donovan Mitchell. You get your money, boy. Uh, but they was right there.
Mm-hmm.
If Mitchell wouldn't have got hurt, and if Jared Allen, that's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Allen wouldn't have got hurt, we'd probably be talking something different because they was playing basketball, man. Hopefully they can get the situation straight with Garland. You know what I mean? I know just heard some rumblings, towards the end of the season about, him and the Clippers. It was in the media about if they re-signed Donovan. You know what I mean? He want to be traded and stuff. Man, I wouldn't listen to that stuff, man.
We can only go with the roster as presently constructed,
right.
so we'll stick with that.
Yeah, but man, all they gotta do is get healthy, man. You know what I mean? They got their number one option who could get is a certified bucket. You know what I mean? Who can score at all 3 levels, 3-point line, free throw, and finish at the rim. And you know what I mean? What we call him, D Wade 2.0.
Yeah, his mid range game is crazy.
It's crazy. So Cleveland, they there.
You got Cleveland solid 5.
Yeah, number 6, I got Indiana, the Pacers. You know what I mean?
They look so good.
Oh man, I ain't gonna lie, man. They ran us out the gym, man.
Yeah. By us you mean
the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, and like I said, Halliburton wouldn't have got hurt or whatever. They probably could have made some better noise also because man, the pace that they run, man, is crazy. You know what I mean? 114 points a game per
them
100
getting up and
possessions.
down. Yeah, them getting up and down, man, was crazy. They actually lived up to the name, the Indiana Pacers, and they literally set the pace. They were the fastest paced team.
Absolutely.
You gave me something while we were talking. I believe a couple weeks ago, a perspective, about or in comparison, like you did this contrast between the famed D'Antoni, offense.
The 7 seconds or less.
Give them what you gave. What you gave me on that.
Man, the Pacers put it on steroids, man. They 4 seconds or less.
4 seconds from
the made bucket to taking outlet the Halliburton, next pass to the other 3-point line. It's going up, or it's a layup, a dunk, or
in 4 seconds.
Man, 4 seconds.
Wow.
I was watching the game, and it was crazy. It was a free throw that Milwaukee shot. It went in. They literally took the ball out. Halliburton got it, passed it down, 3. Bang. Right. You just alleviated, you know what I mean, a 2-point free throw with a 3. Now you're +1. Man, their pace is crazy. It's definitely screaming that 8 seconds or less on steroids. 4 seconds, man. And it don't matter if it's a made or missed shot with those guys, man. They're getting up and down. And by the end of in the playoffs, they start to get the defense there.
Yeah.
So if they can just be average in the defense, because they wasn't known for the defense last year. They was known.
I love that Turner
pace.
I love that Turner can stretch, the D a little and get outside to knock down a couple outside. But hopefully he doesn't become that cat. You know what I mean?
Fall in love.
We just like Karl Anthony Towns, or you know what I mean, like we're saying with Julius Randle, and he plays more to his strength as a
Right.
basketball player.
You know with Miles Turner, I think he showed his versatility last year. I think he's gonna he know he can operate in the middle of the floor now. You know, he's not just a screener. He can shoot that 18 to 20 footer
He
or
stretched the
that
defense for sure.
and defense. He really he
Talk to him just so we can get. This ain't the Indiana channel either.
no, it's not.
but
We gonna tell you the
but so
real.
that we can give more context to some of the strength
Hmm.
of this Indiana team. Talk to me about Siakam, man, and that value that he has,
Oh man,
and what he brought over, and how that helped
it,
everything that you're saying right
man,
now.
he bought that championship pedigree from winning in 2019. Uh, a
He
bona
definitely bought.
fide bucket
He
too.
bought. Yeah, he bought leadership for
He
sure.
did. The leadership
He
was
bought energy.
because Pacers are a young team. You know, they're fairly young.
Very young.
You know, so having that vet come in championship pedigree that won a championship in the last 6 years. You know what I mean? So it's fairly recent.
Yeah. I love
He
Pascal.
knows the experience. He
Right.
got that experience. So I think him being in that locker room, him being on the floor where he can get his own bucket and you know outside of them pushing the pace, if it do turn the slow down game, they got a guy that could operate in the mid range area and get a bucket. So I think Siakam, that team gonna continue to grow, man, and they're gonna be a problem for a long time because they're young, and you know the young Naismith, the little
Naismith
guy
is good.
shooter, he and we can't TJ, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's a terror.
Yeah. They have a nice. They have a very
They
nice
got
nice team, bro. They have a
man.
very
He
nice
was
team. I like
picking up cats 94 feet, and the way he get
Yeah.
in the paint and shoot his little fade away
Yeah.
while he in the paint, man. That's
Not just the paint. You know what I mean?
oh,
Like I think the paint, just saying it, because we're talking about those levels, right?
right.
So being able to operate on the baseline, I feel like for
Yeah.
him is
Oh
even.
yeah.
It's it, the way this kid twinkle toes on the baseline and the way he
Man.
scores. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Basically from right or left block
Yeah.
with that jump shot, that floater.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just his
Yeah.
craftiness on the inside.
Yeah.
He's solid. He's
Man,
solid.
he's real solid. So Indiana, y'all,
Indiana,
they
stand
there.
up.
Right.
Stand up.
Next is Orlando. I got at number 7. I got Orlando. Young team. They emerging. They the young Oklahoma City of the East. You know what I mean? They're coming
fast
because Bankero is a man child. He's figuring it out.
Paolo on the fly because
yeah,
Paolo's just three in, right?
yeah,
4 seasons in.
Three,
Three?
2, 3 in.
Three
Yeah,
in.
yeah, 3 in. But yeah, he's figuring it out, and so and then you got the Wagners.
Yeah,
you know
the
what I
Wagner
mean?
brothers.
Yep. Yeah. So they
coming off this Olympics too, I think they'll definitely be more amped up, more
yeah,
fired up
and then
to play. To be right.
The Olympics do something to certain players, and if you got it in you, it definitely will
I
bring.
think it'll definitely give them more passion.
Yeah. So, but Orlando, they're a bright young team. You know what I mean? They playing for each other down there, and they're gonna be solid.
And they added KCP.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They did add
veteran
him.
leadership,
Veteran, 2
gritty play,
championships. Yep.
tough defender,
knows how to.
He brings that energy. You know what I mean? Of defensive, the focus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's that Indiana. Orlando. I'm sorry. Should definitely
will be good. Number 8. I know a lot of people might think they too high, but you can't count Miami out.
Man, I'd make Miami number 1 just based on their track record over the last couple seasons. If I was just a crazy person, you know what I mean? Like giving an analysis, and then people solely or surely think like, this guy must be a Miami fan. But Miami has literally competed for a championship consistently without coming into a season being touted as a favorite or contender even for a championship. They've competed 4 out of the last 5 seasons or something like that, or three of the last 5. Or
3 out of the last 5.
Yeah,
and what make it so bad? Before this year, they was the standard to get to the finals. You know what I mean? Because when Boston went in 2022 to get past to meet Golden State, they had to play Miami. You know what I mean? They played Miami. Then the next year, Miami You know what I mean? They had to play them to get to the finals, you know, the year before that. So no, Miami has just been a constant. We don't talk about them. I don't know why, but they have
Because they're
been.
blue collar. They're
Yeah,
not impressive to
yeah,
watch. They don't put up
they're
a
not
lot of
flashy.
numbers. They're not.
They
They
come to
just
work
come in.
with their hard hat, and they do what they got to do to win games.
As a team.
As a team, yeah, they're actually, for their level of consistency, it mirrors what San Antonio did in the early 2000s, which we were talking about that,
Decent
where
comparison.
the motto of they, of course, they don't have 5 championships,
Right.
but
But
San
they're well
Antonio
coached.
got, but they're well coached.
Spoelstra's he's a
Top
pop.
three.
He's
Yep,
a pop.
absolutely. He's on that level.
Yeah, he's a pop. I guess I could say um, mentality wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of a coach
yeah.
where he definitely loves a system, loves the team to play as a team, coaches the team to play as a
Mhm.
team. Yeah, so well coached. Shout out to Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah, and they get players that fit their culture. You know what I mean? Which San Antonio did. So
That's
Miami's
right.
gonna be there. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean? They
Miami
might
stand
be
up.
they might be the dark horse.
Stand up, Miami.
Um Now number 9, I got Atlanta. Losing DeJounte Murray was big, but it just brings them back to the team they had before they traded
Losing
for him.
DeJounte actually is a huge loss for them.
No, it
Brings them
is.
back to the team they were before him, which makes them what kind of team?
That's the thing. We gotta see what the identity is. They have a star in the making, or superstar in the making, who's box office, who's Trey Young. But we gotta see, will anybody else step up? You know what I mean?
Remains to be seen.
Yeah. So it's you know they it's gonna be hard though, because they lost a lot. They lost 20 point
Man,
a night score.
man.
They lost defense. They don't even talk about his 1.8 steals a game last year. You know what I mean? And 4.6 rebounds. You know what I mean? As a guard, who plays on the perimeter. So he's mixing it up. So they're losing that. That's a little toughness too.
I feel that.
So I think they at a crossroads right now. I think it's going to depend. This is going to be judgment time this year on if Trey Young decides, if he want to stay in Atlanta, or try his talent somewhere to win a championship, or are they going to be in a rebuilding phase? So
We'll see
they're
what happens.
they're
You have
right
them
on
at
that.
9 though, so
Yeah.
you don't have that crossroads that they're at
Well,
being a detriment.
well,
I don't even have them making the playoffs this season.
well.
This is your list.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, it's we getting close to the bottom of the league right now in the Eastern Conference. So it's kind of, once you get past the top 8, it's kind of pick 'em. So, but at number 10, I got Brooklyn. Brooklyn, they still there, man. They're young. You know, um, I think they're above the other 4 or 5 teams under them. So, because the other teams are kind of rebuilding, which they are rebuilding too, but they got a young boy named Cam Thomas that is a certified go
It's a
getter,
bucket.
man. You know what I mean? He is certified go getter. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't discount what that young man did during the season. You know what I mean? And then he got hurt. Then when he came back, he was still giving giving cats 25 to 30 a
He can
game.
get it
So
done.
so I think he'll be good over there, and I think they'll play, but you know that's the last playing spot.
All
So
right. All right.
um,
Your list.
at 11, I got Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
They're a young team too.
Mm-hmm.
They just signed, they shine Bridges back, and hopefully Ball comes back, you know, healthy, ready to run the show. And let's see where the chips fall. They could probably. That's why I got them at 11. They could sneak in.
Yeah.
You know, at number 12, I got I got Chicago. You know what I mean? They in a full rebuild. You know, DeRozan's gone. Uh, Levine's in limbo. They do got young Kobe White. You know, who finding his way. Uh, they got the kid from Oklahoma.
Yeah, Josh Giddey.
Yeah, they
Giddy
got
up.
Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey is a player, man.
Right.
You know that's he's underestimated because of some of his off the court issues, but that don't discount what he
No,
do on the
Josh Giddey's a
basketball
bucket, man.
court.
Josh Giddey's a hooper.
Yeah, he's a real
He's a
hooper.
hooper, man.
So and he'll be good for Chicago.
Let's see.
Rounded out, I'll just say the last three. I got Detroit, Toronto, and Washington.
Who are they?
And they rebuilding. You know, they right now everything is in limbo for those three franchises. So you know, Detroit, they got a young core over there, you know, and they brought some veterans in, but I just don't think, you know, they're ready. And they still got a, you know, Monty Williams is gone, so now it's going to be a coaching standpoint where, you know, you got Cunningham, who's, you know, going into his second or third year, where he need, I think, for his game to grow, he showed flashes of what he can do, but it's going to be the stability issue now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? The
it's a new
constant,
system. It's all that stuff.
yeah.
It's just
So
a matter
you
of
know,
like.
just
But that kid can
developing.
play ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just developing.
Kate
And
Cunningham's a beast. Shout out to Kate Cunningham.
Toronto. You know what? I got Toronto there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto made the playoffs because they actually got a good team. You know, they got RJ Barrett over there.
I think so.
They got Quickly. You know what I mean? They got some players over there. It's just, you know, it's about, are they gonna play individual or are they gonna play as a team?
No, I think they'll play as a team.
You think
I
so?
don't think that'll be a problem for them.
Okay.
I have them actually squeaking in at the number 10 spot on my list that I put together. But I mean, this is your list. But for
Yeah.
all those reasons that you're mentioning, it's why I have them stronger than all these other players or
Yeah.
these other teams at the bottom that are rebuilding. I don't think they're in a rebuilding phase at all. I think they'll come in and they will literally pick up where they left off last year, but improve. You know what I mean? So they'll
Yeah.
figure out the ways to improve, and they'll be a better team this year,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Washington, of course,
Yeah,
is
then
always
we got
just
Washington.
purgatory.
Yeah, then we got Washington. They don't.
They got Valanciunas.
They got Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, who's one of your favorite players. But you know,
Not bad.
I know. But
Nah,
yeah,
Kuz
Washington.
I like
This,
Kuz.
you know, they got to figure it out, man. That's all that.
So that's your Eastern Conference. That
That's
rounds
right.
off your predictions for the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely.
On this graphic here is that he's got Boston at number 1, Milwaukee 2,
Yeah.
Philly finishing at 3, very strong. 4, the Knicks, Cleveland at 5, Indiana at 6, Orlando at 7, 8, Miami, Atlanta. He has making being the number 9 seed, that number 9 position. He has out of all teams, Brooklyn. I expressed my love for Brooklyn. And, you know what I mean? How I'm kind of grandfathered in as a New Jersey Nets fan, but
Right.
I'm not high on Brooklyn at all this season. I just think they're in a straight rebuild. They'll have to learn to play and all that stuff. But again, this is your list. That's your top 10 for the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this Western Conference here.
Man, the West stacked, brother.
Man. Stacked is an understatement.
Like we've been talking. We talk all the time, of course, but we've been talking for weeks about this, man, and it's hard, man, because it's just the West is just stacked, man. That, you know, it's always some one team that you could say, well, that team's number one, they're ahead of the class, and then you get to the next team and it's an argument. Well, what about this? So, but in the West Conference, number one, I got Denver. You know what I mean? Yes, they didn't get to the finals this year, or they didn't win a championship. You know, they got beat in the second round. Okay, we understand that.
What about them coming into this season excite you?
Man, they got basically the same team with the acquisition of Westbrook. I think my boy Brom is gonna get his chance with KCP gone. Yeah, Christian Braun gonna get his chance. This is your time, young man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think he'll slide in that spot. He'll add more energy. Yeah, KCP, he did his 3-point shooting was a little more consistent than Christian's is, but I think it'll be a little. It's gonna be a different flow.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think,
And Christian can shoot, so I
and
think
he
he'll
can
spend more
shoot.
time in
Yeah,
the offseason working on that and
working on that. Yeah,
sliding into a role of giving what he gave,
right.
in addition to adding a
Yeah,
bit more
adding.
from the outside. I
No,
agree.
I definitely agree. And then with Westbrook coming off the bench, providing that energy when Joker come out, because um, he provide. That's what he provide. He provide. That's why they want him there. That energy, and he giving 100% every night, like it's his last game. And that's what you want in a championship team. With a team like this, is you need the energy, because it's a long season and it could get bored. You know what I mean, in the middle of the season with them, and I think that's what happened. You know what I mean, with Denver, because they was arguably number 1 and 2 all year until the end. I think where they really got bored and just ran out of gas or whatever. But number 2, I got OKC.
Mm-hmm.
They was the number 1 team last year. Nobody had them on the radar, especially you, because I seen your predictions from last year.
I was disrespectful.
And it was.
I was disrespectful.
Oh man, it was way disrespectful. But man, they got a bona fide superstar MVP.
In shape.
In shape. They're a young team, so they ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. Shout out to OKC, man.
Shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Man, they do this. They do this and they sleep, man. Look at the team they had with KD, Harden, Westbrook. You know what I mean? Baca. Man, they just retooled, and then having Alex Caruso really take them over, because
you think it's the Caruso pickup that takes him over the top?
Well, it's not over the top, but I think he brings a different element than Josh Giddey did, because he's more defensive orientated, where Giddey was a playmaker, where he, you know what I mean, initiated the offense.
Right, Giddey's playmaking ability was very huge for them.
Right, yeah.
I think that's something that Alex Caruso can definitely do. He's a downhill scorer.
Right.
That definitely involves folks, as well. So
right. And it's the defense
slight pickup. I think their biggest pickup, well, the one that puts them over the top, is the Hardenstein pickup.
Oh yeah, Harden. Oh man,
that's the one that makes them, in my opinion, like wow. You know what I mean? Like a little bit different, because it gives them some size on the inside. To be able to contend with a Jokic, etc.
Right.
What do you think about the Hardenstein pick?
Some rebounding too. So no, that was a good pickup. Now think about it. I thought about it, but I didn't put too much stock into it. You know what I mean? Because they already was a good team. It was just adding a little more rebounding and defense. But that does put them, up there.
Let me go on record by saying this is not an Oklahoma City channel, but man, OKC, stand up.
Yeah.
Hardenstein, bro.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, my number 3 pick, man, Dallas. Man, you already know what the big splash was. Klay Thompson, man. Oh man.
Splash Brother reborn.
Yeah. And it's gonna be hard to guard them, man. Because it's gonna be hard, man. Because you're not gonna be able to shade
Klay
off.
makes you have to play honest.
Yeah. You cannot
leave him open.
Nope. You can't shade. You can't even dig, because Luka find them, and all those shots that Jones Jr. was missing in them corners and stuff, man, Klay gonna knock them down, man.
At least at a higher percentage.
Yeah, he had a higher percentage, but
at least we trust Klay in crunch time,
right?
Or in the situations where you need those shots the most, you trust Klay to at least be able to knock those down,
right? Because I feel that they Jones, they lost faith in him, in the finals, because he was a huge deal in the conference finals against Minnesota and in the rounds before that. So, I think, man, Dallas is there, man. They was in the finals. You know what I mean? They just ran against a buzzsaw in Boston. But, man, Dallas bringing back adding Klay. You know what I mean?
I think that their interior, they get the benefit, or have the benefit of having a season under their belt.
Yep.
A playoff run under their belt. Especially Lively's incredibly young.
Yep. Gafford.
But Gafford, the way that they both played together, I feel like was a very good sign, which I think they benefit from because of the impact that those bigs were able to have on that team last season. I think they come in with a different level of focus and confidence, in the team overall. Remembering that Gafford was added mid or after the All-Star break. You know what I mean? So I think, so I think that definitely bolsters Dallas like a little bit more. That Clay addition, man.
Yeah, that's crucial. Number 4, I got Minnesota. I'm high on Minnesota, and we have these talks, but it's predicated on Cat, man. I need you, Cat. If you watching, brother, I need you to be the unstoppable force on the block, inside out, baby, inside out. We know you arguably the greatest shooting big man. We know that.
According to his family, his friends.
That's his opinion. That's his view. This is our opinion.
That's his
we
opinion.
Need you on the block. You unstoppable down there, man. Especially around that 15-foot area also. Come on, man. This team, y'all got Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And he's coming. Well, he ain't coming. He arrived. But we need you in Minnesota. So for Minnesota to crack the top 3, it's all on Cat. Because my thing is,
they were only a game behind last season.
Huh?
They were only one game behind the top 2 last season.
Yeah,
so
one game behind, and they was really, I think, and I'll say this, I think their championship was beating Denver. Individually, I think Anthony Edwards beating KD was his championship. You have those moments. That was his championship. But as a team, I think beating Denver, I think they were satisfied. No, you can't be satisfied. You want to host that trophy at the end, and y'all got all the pieces. Number 1 defensive in the league. You got a bona fide superstar. You got a bona fide star. You got the defensive player of the year 3 of the last 4 years. You have veteran presence in Mike Conley Jr. Come on, guys. Y'all just got to get it done, man. Y'all there.
What do you think, really quick? Because this ain't a Minnesota channel either.
It's not.
Praising Minnesota. However, I'm big on Minnesota too.
Oh man!
In fact, I had Minnesota on my list. I'll run through it.
Yeah,
sometime. But I had Minnesota finishing at number 2.
Oh, yeah.
You have them at 4 on your list. Yeah. But what do you think about their rookie acquisition?
Oh man. He's gonna be good, man.
You think that they'll slide him in early?
You know what? Yeah, because Conley is getting up there, man. You know what I mean? And man, Rob is, you know what I mean? He ain't
Shout out to Rob Dillingham.
Man,
I think that Rob adds value.
Beast,
I think he comes in as instant value. I'm not saying he's gonna be, focal point or something, but I think that the value that he adds, man, is very high. He's got a lot of value that he
this is what I'll say. Him coming in, being behind Conley Jr., he'll learn how to be a professional quick. But if you look at his game coming out of Kentucky, he mirrors a John Wall, a De'Aaron Fox. Even he showed flashes of a Murray. You know what I mean? So
we'll see what it looks like.
So man, that's big.
Shout out to Minnesota.
Yeah, shout out y'all there, man. Y'all got it together. Number 5, I got the beloved Suns. We in the valley. I think they'll get it together. You know what I mean? They got the same team too, but I think they'll just figure it out. You know what I mean? They had some injuries that derailed them, and I don't think the chemistry was there in the playoffs. So I think with Book and KD on the Olympic team, they'll get their relationship better. It's not bad, but I'm saying good to great. You know what I mean? And then bouncing off other players, but then you got Bradley Beal and Grayson Allen just signed that deal.
Yeah, I think the extra season for them will be good.
I think that
give them another season to play together. That last year was just kind of a chemistry experiment, but they were trying to feel their way through it. And I think that they'll come back this year a lot better.
Right.
you know, on the court together, having more opportunities, hopefully, with good health, to play more, to get more out of the team that they actually have in
Yeah,
their roster,
definitely.
especially that big three.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so number 6, I got the Lakers. You know what I mean? So I think they'll get in the playoffs this year. It ain't gonna be no play in. I
Added
think,
nothing. They added Bronny and Dalton Connect. Pete. What are you talking about?
hey man,
You got them. You got them. You got them making it into the
yeah,
actual playoff.
I got them.
Not needing a playoff
No,
or a play in
not
rather.
playing. Nope. I think they're gonna get in,
Tell
man.
us why.
The reason I think they're gonna get in because I think Bron is gonna be extra motivated. You know what I mean? I think AD, man, he playing tremendous in the Olympics. You know, in those 5 warm up friendlies, man, he looked like the best player in the world to me. You know what I mean? On defensive end and just scoring.
Shout out to
So
AD.
yeah, AD, you. So I think they're gonna focus it more on AD. So I think, and he played all season last season. He didn't get injured like they usually say.
Maybe you're right, P.
So
I don't see it, but maybe you're right.
So I think the Lakers get in. I think LeBron these next 2 years, I think he really gonna make a push. I think, he doesn't have anything else to prove, but I think you want to get to that 5, man. And I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think you're gonna get maximum effort.
Man,
from
lucky
Bron.
to have gotten 4.
Yeah.
Let me just say, with regards to the Lakers, I'm not a Laker fan, I'm not a Laker hater either. But I think the biggest thing for them not adding anybody is going to be, the focus should be on who they actually did add. Probably the most important thing that they or piece that they added in the offseason was, rookie coach JJ Redick. And so to see what JJ Redick actually does with that personnel, I think is going to be telling. Based on your position and where you have them here, you think clearly JJ is going to come in and be able to, do the things that you said with the offense that he puts in, which is to feature Anthony Davis a little more, to maximize what you have left in LeBron. LeBron's still playing
Right.
great. He's still getting, great numbers. I think they're empty stats, but that's just what I say. I don't think that he, in his stats, he's it's not like the early Cleveland days LeBron. You know what I mean? Even the Miami Bron, clearly he's not at that level anymore, but he's so effective at getting things done. I think that they do need a coach that can actually just pull the best out of him. And maybe that is JJ. I don't know. It remains to be seen, but you seem to believe so because you think they're going to be 6 in the West, a stacked West at that.
Yeah, the only reason I think that is because, if we think about in the 80s, how Pat Riley came to be what he is known now as the Godfather of basketball.
He don't be on this channel blaspheming.
Yeah,
don't be comparing no JJ Redick to no great Pat Riley, bro.
No, it's not. I'm saying the situation.
All right. Don't be in here.
It's the situation.
That door swings open. You know what I'm saying?
I know
kick you out of here.
But
don't
Pat
you
Riley
disrespect Pat Riley, bro.
Pat Riley came out of the press box. He was calling games.
Okay.
Not saying that he wasn't a tremendous player when he was a player, just like JJ was a tremendous player. He was a great shooter. I'm just saying he's not Pat Riley, but the parallel is there. So I think JJ will be all right, man.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll
Number 7, hey, these your boys. You low key. I think you a fan because
I'm gonna give you some New Orleans jerseys, bro.
I was gonna say I got New Orleans number 7.
Bi is gonna be my first jersey, and then Zion, of course.
A healthy Zion, man.
Give me a DeJounte Murray joint too.
Murray, oh man, they coming, man.
You got him at 7.
I got him at 7 because it's stacked.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But man, no, add Murray with McCollum at the guard. You know what I mean? I think they need to take care of Bi if they haven't took care of him yet. I think
hopefully they retain him.
He's a very important piece. I know you was mad when the Lakers got rid of him. We talked about that for years. We're still talking about it.
I still want to strangle management about that one, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was a yeah,
It
that
was
was
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was
But he's a
interesting.
great fit in New Orleans for what they do. When Zion
Absolutely.
went down with his injuries last year,
Right.
Biot, stepped in and he
Yeah.
did a tremendous job helping to carry that team, still keep them, you know what I mean, in the
In
running,
the
still
mix.
still
Yeah.
still literally able to maintain with their style of play.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I'm really high on New Orleans. Man. I love New
Yeah.
Orleans. I
And,
had him at 5 on my list.
and if Zion wouldn't have got hurt, he had 40, man. You know what I mean? In the last 2 minutes, they would have won. And
That
we'll be,
playoff game. Shout out
yeah.
to Zion Williams,
And
man.
we would have been
Zion,
saying
stay
something
healthy
different.
this season, bro.
Got to
Stay
stay healthy.
fit and trim, young man.
Please do,
Man, the
because you
world is
are a
yours.
man
The
child,
world
bro.
is yours,
Yeah,
Tony.
man. Oh, man.
It's
He's
yours,
a
bro.
monster,
Man,
man.
that kid is so good,
Yeah.
bro.
Number 8. What we say? Like that beam.
Like the beam.
Like the beam, because
Sacramento.
man, Sacramento, they got it, man. You know what I mean? And what nobody talking about, that DeRozan, they picked
Oh,
up
everybody's talking
DeRozan.
about that DeRozan
Oh
move.
man.
What does DeRozan add in
Oh
terms of his
man.
value? They
So
already had De'Aaron Fox. You just mentioned that.
absolutely,
They
they got
already had
Sabonis.
Malik Monk was doing his thing,
Oh man,
obviously,
off the bench. Yep.
and adding a lot of value there. They've added another bona fide bucket in DeMar DeRozan. What does that do to the nucleus of that team?
What it do is, man, you know, when teams are loading up on your stars, which was Fox and Sabonis and their pick and roll play, when when that was not working, they didn't have another option to get a shot. DeRozan is a bona fide shot getter. We call them the midi wizards.
So that should definitely make the game easier.
Yes, it's gonna
for
be
De'Aaron
way
Fox.
easy. So it's gonna
Because now you got to
be,
play honest.
yeah, they got to. And with
Defenses, rather.
Fox being a blur with that quickness and ball handling, man, it's gonna be crazy. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they get higher. You know what I mean? Like you said, you had them like number 5 on your list, and I just
I got him at 7.
oh, you got them at 7?
I got him at
Okay.
7.
Oh, you
Yeah,
had New Orleans at 5. Yeah,
I got him
7.
one
Yeah,
step
I
up
got
from
them
you.
at 8. I think they're there, and they've been in these positions from the last 2
Few years, yep.
So you know what I mean. Yeah, they added DeRozan, but guess what? The West is still adding players also and still stacked. So I think they'll be in the middle of the pack, cracking the top 4 or 5. I don't see
Potentially?
it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't see it.
Okay.
I think they'll go from 5 to 8 where they are. Number 9, I got San Antonio. I think they're gonna figure it out.
Wow.
They're gonna figure it out.
Why so high on San Antonio?
Because
you got San Antonio actually making it into the number 9 seed, push them into the play-in situation.
Yeah.
But strongly above 10, not squeaking in.
Yeah, not squeaking in. I think Pop is gonna maximize. He always maximizes players, and just having the point guard on the floor, putting these young players in position, making sure Wemby getting the ball in his spots, and also getting the ball, touching the ball down the court every possession, because last year it was a lot of ill-advised shots by some of the young guys when you know
free rec.
They was out there just kind of like finding their way. And I think with the stability and the leadership of Chris Paul, who's the greatest leader in NBA right now as the point guard, I think he's going to help them get over it now if he stays healthy. And then even if he don't stay healthy, just having his presence and helping the young guys like Vassell and them guys, I think they'll get in at number 9, man.
Yeah. So let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You think, when you opine, so this is an opinion stated. This is just about opinions. Nobody can attack you for your opinion. It's yours.
Right.
But in your opinion, Chris Paul adds a Tony Parker bit of an element to this young San Antonio team to give us a glimpse and flash of what young Timmy D and Tony Parker were actually looking like. All he has to do is show up and be Tony Parker. Not even Tony Parker wasn't a flashy.
No, he got
Uh,
in the lane, shot his floater, and
and
guess
Chris Paul
what?
can do
Chris
that. The
Paul
midi,
get in the
that little
lane,
that
get
mid
his
range
15-footer on the
distribute,
elbow, and
fits that pop system to a T.
oh man, I think this is
Dang,
1 or
P,
2
I can't even
years late.
argue. I can't even argue with that
And then
because
let's
I
look
like
at
that. I like that as a perspective. Even though I don't even have San Antonio scratching anywhere near the play in.
right. And then my thing is, you just look at Chris Paul track record. Everywhere he's been, the next year when he comes, the team winning percentage goes up.
With the exception of Golden State.
No, it did in Golden State
But
also.
I mean, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't impactful.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
You
because
know,
of
when
Chris.
he got to the Clippers, it was impactful. When he got to Houston, it was impactful.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
San Antonio, send the care packages, man. Send that man a care package of churros. You know what I mean? Because
please
he's,
do.
He eye on y'all. He got y'all number 9.
Nah.
Number 9.
And then let's go number 10. Man, Memphis. That boy coming back.
Welcome back, Ja Morant.
You know, Ja Morant coming back. You know, and we ain't heard a peep out of Memphis, so that's good because that means it's basketball focus.
They're motivated.
Yeah, motivated because my thing is, and I think what helped Memphis with Ja being gone is you got Bane getting into a role in confidence.
Right.
You know, you got Marcus Smart where they're learning how to play in defensive schemes. So he'll be anchoring the defense while Ja Morant.
They were already without Smart a really gritty defensive team. Not like they're shutting anything down.
But
I think that Marcus Smart definitely adds value in terms of his mentality.
Right.
And kind of that having some of that bleed over on the team culture wise.
Yeah, and they got 2 of the best defend. They're gonna have 2 of the best defenders on the court, and Smart and Jackson. You know what I mean?
Jared Jackson.
Yeah, so they're gonna be good. The reason I got them squeaking in is because it's gonna be about chemistry and getting to know each other again. So but they could even be a little higher. You know what I mean?
I got them in the same position.
11, I got Golden State.
Golden State's not even making the play in your opinion?
No, I think they at a crossroads. That my not discounting the Buddy Hield acquisition. We can't discount that. Hey, besides,
I don't think they lost anything picking up Buddy Hield based on what Clay was giving them.
Yeah, what the production was with Clay, but they was in the play-in and lost. So you know what I mean. I think they'll be okay. What we got to get back to is they got to get back to basketball with Andre Wiggins. You know what
Wiggins
I mean?
came in a different player this past season.
Yeah, Wiggins, we need you
focus,
back
mentality, everything was a little bit different. Yeah. Motivation to play seemed a little bit different. I know he was dealing with some off the court stuff with his family and some battles and some struggles, but if they can get that Wiggins back from a season ago,
or
then,
the 2022
mentally, emotionally back, I think they'll be good.
Championship team. If they could get that Wiggins back, man, I wouldn't be surprised they'd be a little higher.
Wiggins, we need you to be special this year.
Yeah, man, I'm high on Wiggins, man. You probably, besides LeBron, the number 1 pick that really, kind of made it. You know what I mean? You got a championship. You know what I mean? Last one to do that, I think the number 1 pick was LeBron. You know, so yeah, we just need that team is. They're gonna be there. Whenever you got a Steph Curry led team, man, you got a chance. I just think the team they have, they're gonna compete, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, man.
I have them at 8, so I believe them. Yeah. But that's you. That's your list. Your opinion.
So number 12, I got Houston.
Young Houston. Shout out to Ime Udoka and that young
Let me tell you something. Houston, them boys, they young. They kind of like Orlando. But Orlando is, since the East is not as stacked as the West. Now, if Houston was in the East, they'll be there. But since the West is so stacked and they're a young team, I think they'll get there.
I have Houston in the same position.
Yeah, they'll get there. They got some good players out there, and they got some veteran leadership in Van Vliet. You know what I mean? That championship pedigree, hard, gritty nose, cut from that cloth of Jalen Brunson to me. You know what I mean? So I think they'll be there. I wouldn't be surprised, but it's just the West is stacked. And to round it out, we got the dumpster fire called the Clippers.
Not to round it out, man. You got this dumpster fire as the Clippers.
Yeah.
You got the Clippers falling from grace down to 13. I had them at 11, I believe, on my list. But this talk about why you're off of the Clippers here, and why you have them at 13.
My thing is losing PG. I know they want to discount it, but that's big, man. In the modern NBA, who is your prototypical wing? It's a Paul George. The kids say it. When they play 2K, you really building Paul George. He's a 2K player.
Okay.
You know, and losing him is big. That's 30% of your offense right there. You know?
30%, especially because you had a Kawhi Leonard who always, season after season after season struggles with his, nagging injuries. They load manage him a bunch, which is necessary for, obviously for his, continuity throughout the season, and just being able to play and to contribute. You have to load manage this brother, because his body is not, a 82, a 70, 75 game body.
Right. I just think that, and that's where my next point was going to go, is the health of Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? Of course, he's a bona fide superstar. You know what I mean? You can't deny this man when he's on the court, but you got to be on the court, brother. That's all it boils down to. When he's on the court,
availability.
They got a chance. When he's not on the court, you're looking like
they're in trouble.
Yeah. You're looking like
no Paul George to shore up that hole when he's not there, to me.
Right.
That's definitely the reason I had him slip as well.
Right. And not saying they ain't got no people that can get buckets. You still got Terrence Mann on the team. You still got some players that can play. And I'm not gonna lie, losing Eric Gordon is big too. You know what I mean? Because he came off the bench and he was instant firecracker.
But they're incredibly, as far as depth is concerned. I don't think their issue is going to be the depth. So I don't see that them not having these other players that can step up and contribute. It's not about just contributing for me though. It's about an individual with that fire to be able to carry the team. And Terrence Mann is an incredible athlete. Kid's a baller. So shout out to Terrence Mann. But I agree that Paul George is not just some easily replaced by somebody that you have on the bench and you're going to bring him in, especially given the lack of availability for Kawhi Leonard. So that's the Clippers. Good luck.
Yeah, and Ty Lue, you got your work cut out, but man, you top 3 coach in the league, you can get it done. So it's like you said, it's all about availability. Then we got Utah. They in the full rebuild mode. You know what I mean? I don't think players running out of there as fast as they can right now. Right now they're looking for marketing, trade value for marketing. So that he was their best player last year.
There's a lot of trade value for marketing. Yeah, I think that they're looking for not trade value.
Well, they're looking for suitors that they're
looking to be the next Oklahoma City.
Right, and
they're following that blueprint, that mold of we'll take all your picks, we'll build
and
legitimately homegrown talent that we draft,
and
we'll use some of these picks to leverage the picks for the pieces that we need as we put pieces in place. I think a marketing keep would actually be really good for them to build around, but we'll see. It remains to be seen what they do.
Yeah, my thing with Utah also is that it's still residuals from the Gobert trade. You know what I mean? I think that's why people don't want to deal with them, because they want so many picks and they want, I think they're asking for too much.
I mean, they have the picks to give.
Right, which I think marketing.
But marketing's not going anywhere with a bunch of picks coming from Utah. Right. Utah's going to take the haul. They're not giving up anything.
Right. No, I'm saying they're asking too much for marketing. That's what I'm trying to say. is that they're asking too much. They want two good players or two, players
Marketing's worth everything.
and 4 or
He's worth
5
the ask.
picks.
He's worth the ask.
Yeah, he is.
I think
But
that he improves any team that he goes to,
oh yeah,
especially one of these
because he's a
contenders,
20 and
whether in the
10.
West or someplace or out east.
Yeah,
Man, he's a Porzingis ad,
yeah.
type of an ad to any team that's actually contending, bro.
No, I agree. Then Portland, it's a stacked West. You know what I mean? Chauncey Billups down there. Shout out to Mr. Big Shot. Um, he was one of my favorite players, you know what I mean, growing up. And even in my journey of playing basketball, he was one of the guys that I looked at to kind of model my game after. But he got his work cut out for him. It's a young team. They need an identity. They got a couple of good players down
They have a
there.
team full of good players.
Yeah.
I think they have a good nucleus of players. It's just going to be a matter of them learning to win together,
learning to
buying
win.
into a system, and if they keep that core in place, I think they're just a couple seasons away from learning how to play together and win together. But that still keeps them bottom of the barrel in a very stacked Western Conference. But Portland's coming; they'll be okay in a few seasons. They'll be cool.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But what they can do.
But that rounds out my predictions for 2024-25.
It's a decent list, man. Tell us in the comments what you guys think about P's list. It's a decent list. A decent list.
Yeah, decent.
Just to quickly recap, some minor P, thanks for coming through once again. You guys are watching Opinion Stated. Like, share, subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for content such as this. I just want to quickly just run down my list. Eastern Conference, just to recap for those who didn't see part one. I had Boston finishing number one in the East, just a class of the Eastern Conference. The Knicks, I feel like, are solid. They're coming. I think that they're solid at 2 where they were last season, where they can, potentially, because of all the things that we mentioned when we were talking about them initially, they could possibly contend, for the number one spot, depending on what happens with Boston. If Boston comes out this year, plays kind of lax, you know what I mean? Because they're like, we got our ring, and they come out playing a little lazy and a little sloppy. And they just take a step backwards from, how they dominated out East, you know what I mean? Or dominated in the league, period, through the opening of the season, the first half of the season. And I think the Knicks can possibly squeak in. And the Knicks they close out very well in the second half of the season last year to go into the playoffs, head into the playoffs when they kind of became injury plagued. But I think that adding or addition of Mikal Bridges and you know what I mean, like having Randall come back healthy, having Mitchell Robinson come back hopefully healthy. They lost Hartenstein, but I think that you know what I mean with Randall coming back, that keeps them at the tops in the East. Matt Philly at 3. Because of the Paul George and many of the other things that we mentioned before. I have Milwaukee finishing at 4. I think that Milwaukee's solid, and I don't think that Milwaukee's lost anything. I think that the second season for your mob having another season to play with Dame, actually, that gives them some sense. It's a full season now, a full off season, training camp, etc. To interwork with Doc for Doc to sell them more on his system, his style of play. You know what I mean? To figure out that personnel and kind of what he wants to do. We thought that the big thing for Milwaukee last year would have been the pick and roll between Dame and Giannis a bunch, which we didn't see a lot of. Maybe because it's just us and analyzing the game the way that we do.
Right.
And, seeing players play and just thinking, man, this 1-2 punch, pick and roll, etc. might be incredible. But maybe Doc has something altogether different that'll actually help to benefit them. Hopefully, your guy. Hopefully your other guy can stay healthy,
Middleton,
because we know what Middleton adds when he's healthy.
And
we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna compare this team to that Boston team that Doc had, because not saying that Middleton is on a Paul Pierce level, but he has that ability in his mid range to get to his spot and get his shot off.
I think that with Dame for certain, it should help to make the game easier, a lot easier for a guy like Chris Middleton. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
so I had them finishing at 4. I have Indiana, finishing at 5, because of all the things that we mentioned. I think that they take a step forward this year. That 5 spot where I have them finishing this season is up 1 from last season where they finished at 6. I have Cleveland actually dropping 2 spots, so I have them at 6 on my list, and it's not because they got any worse. It's just because I don't think that they added anything. Obviously, they need it. They need all factors, and every team needs health on their side,
Mm-hmm.
because health is truly wealth.
Right.
But I just think that the rest of the teams that I mentioned above them are just quite frankly better.
Right.
And it's not because Cleveland has a bad team. It's just because I feel like the other teams are better. The young Orlando team I had dropping 2 spots. They were at 5 last year. I have them at 7 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not because I think that they're bad. It's not because I don't believe in their team. I just think that the rest of the teams are better. Miami at 8, because obviously it's Miami, and they're just one of those teams that they just always seem to be there. I don't care if they finish 8 through 10,
Right.
which is very likely. But I still think that they are going to be somewhere around in that 8 to 10. They're kind of solidly locked into that.
Right.
And if they can figure out some other things, I don't know, to get some people playing out of their mind, you know what I mean? Then like we'll see what happens. But I think that the loss of Caleb Martin,
Martin, yeah,
it definitely kind of it doesn't mean that they fall off, but I think that Caleb Martin added a lot of value. I would have loved to, have seen them not lose Vincent to the Lakers a few seasons ago. Lakers just kind of jumped in to
and
make them
Max
weak.
Strus. Don't forget
Yeah,
Max
so
Strus to Cleveland.
But again, with Spoelstra being as good as he is at drafting players and then developing players,
Jaime,
I think
man.
that Jaime Jaquez Jr. is
he's
shout out
a
to Jaime,
beast,
but I
man.
think that Miami will be solid. They're cool.
he's
So
a
I have them
beast.
at 8, at Chicago at 9, because you know what I mean. Giddy up, huh? I don't think that Josh Giddey is DeMar DeRozan, but I think that Giddey adds value to that Chicago team, and where they are. So I have them finishing at 9, right equal to where they were last season. I have Toronto at number 10. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm a Scotty Barnes guy, bro. I and Scotty, I believe in Scotty. So I have them finishing 2 spots higher than last season. I have them squeaking right in that playoff position, in that play-in tournament rather, and then just letting the chips fall where they may from there. Right. At least I have them entering into that playoff tournament, or that play-in tournament rather, right, to fight for one of those last playoff spots. I have Charlotte finishing at number 11. I think they won a few more games this season, learning how to play, and building off of the success of last season. But I just think that all the other teams are just too teams above them. They're just stronger. And I have Atlanta dropping 2 slots from last season with that DeJounte Murray loss. I just think that that's huge. So I don't even think that Atlanta will be
anywhere
near. I would be shocked if I'm being disrespectful to Atlanta. Shout out to Trey. Trey's a beast. We know we're going to get from Trey, but I don't see it, bro. I have to see it. Make me a believer. You know what I mean? Make me tear this list up
right.
in
that's why
a future episode. Premature. It's premature. A little premature.
Absolutely.
So that's Atlanta at 12. At 13. I have Detroit. Young Kate Cunningham in the bunch. I have them up 2 spots from last season. You know what I mean? At 13. And then my Brooklyn Nets team. I had them down 3 spots from last year because of the Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges balled out. Last season for them. It's not that I don't believe in Cam, the Cams, you know what I mean, out there.
Cams, right.
But it's just that I just don't see them being competitive after losing Mikal, who was just such a huge really part of their offense.
On the team,
he was definitely their leader
on the
so
team.
You lose your leader, that's it. You know what I mean? Like I know that other guys somebody's got to get the buckets, right? And it's cool, but I just think that what he added, and then now because of him leaving, what they've lost, it's not gonna be pretty for the Brooklyn Nets this year. And then, bottoming out in the Eastern Conference is just those Wizards. I have them down 1 spot from last season, finishing at the bottom of the Eastern Conference at 15. I have Oklahoma City finishing at number 1 in the Western Conference because I just believe Oklahoma City. That Hardenstein ad, in my opinion, was major. I love Josh Giddey and what Josh Giddey added, because Josh Giddey adds a lot of value in terms of his being able to distribute the ball, you know what I mean, to get timely buckets when they needed them as a contributor. But I feel like the Caruso, you know what I mean, coming out there is it doesn't trail off much from what they lost with Giddey. Caruso adds more of a defensive presence for them, which is good, which I think that they'll need benefit from. Caruso can also hit shots. Right. And so we'll see what happens with them. But I have them finishing as a class of the Western Conference. I have Minnesota up 1 spot to number 2 from last season, and it's just because again, I just think that they'll take a leap, they'll take a step up, they'll come out, they'll be a lot more focused this season in the regular season, understanding kind of what they have and having that nucleus together. Had Dallas finishing at number 2, up 2 spots from last season. I have to finish at number 3, actually. And that's obviously for all the reasons that we mentioned before.
Right.
I just think that they take a huge leap. They come out more focused this season from the start.
Right.
And they don't just necessarily have to be that team celebrated for having the best record after the All-Star break. I think that this season they figure it out. They put it all together. Play adds much value for them.
Right.
I had Denver at number 4.
Okay.
Down 2 spots. And I made this list actually and produced the first part of this particular prediction show prior to Russell Westbrook being added. I'm big on the Russell Westbrook addition, not because I think that Westbrook's going to be the same old Westbrook, but Westbrook actually allows for, a bit more fire, spark, passion,
Right.
hard-nosed playing, that energy that he
man,
comes in and infuses, helps him create a culture and an identity. I don't think they have a defensive culture or identity.
Yeah.
So I think that Westbrook, helps you do that. But the biggest reason that I like the Westbrook acquisition is because I think that it takes the ball out of Jamal Murray's hands so much, and it allows Jamal Murray to function, as a 2 guard more than a point guard, which I think benefits him more as a scorer.
Right, and it'll benefit him down the stretch because then his shot off the pick and roll, him and Joker pick and roll that they run at the.
Well,
end
I think
of the
he has
game.
the ball. I think he has the ball in his hand at the end of the game.
No,
to
I'm
be
saying
honest.
that. I'm saying.
No, I mean Jamal Murray.
No,
I think that he has the ball in his hands at the end of the game.
No,
but my point is to incorporate him offensively. Now he's not slow starting offensively.
Right.
I think that when you put the ball in the Westbrook's hand and you let Westbrook and Jokic run the show or initiate offense for them, I think that it allows Murray to play more in space so that we get him going earlier offensively.
And that's where I was going with that point.
Yeah.
So now late in the game, he's not. It was some points where he was struggling because he was just getting in the game.
Spent so much time distributing for everybody else to get in there. I think
sure everybody
he'll already be in the rhythm.
He's going to be in the rhythm and get in the game earlier. Right. So now late game when that pick and roll happened, it's going to be dangerous because he's already going to be rolling.
Right. So I had them at number 4. I had New Orleans at number 5, up 3 spots from last season. They finished at 8 last season, but I have them 5. I'm just big on New Orleans, obviously, and that nucleus. I love the DeJounte Murray addition. As I spoke up, I love Brandon Ingram.
Get this man a jersey.
I'm saying Brandon Ingram, to me, with the value that he added last season, the way that he stepped up, he's still coming into his own, developing and becoming better and better and better every season. So his upside to me is still so very high. Again, the DeJounte Murray addition, it's cool. They lost Valanciunas, which I don't like. However, I just think that DeJounte Murray addition helps to give them more of an offensive input, and also helps to spread the court so you have more from a defensive standpoint. For the other teams, they have to play everybody honest.
Yeah, and then that gives more room for Zion.
Right. So they have to play them honest. I say it's no doubles, no easy doubles, and all that stuff. From that standpoint. So I think it makes the offense much easier for them. I like the idea of their offense flowing a little bit more this season.
Absolutely.
Had the Suns still finishing at 6 because, like I said about them, I just think that they figure it out this season. Yeah. A little more continuity and they get it together. On my list, I have Sacramento finishing at number 7 because of the DeRozan addition. So up 2 spots from last season where they finished at 9. I have Golden State finishing this season at 8, up 2 spots from 10 a season ago. Because I don't think that they lost much with Clay. Clay wasn't the old Clay. So I think that what they get, from Buddy Hield, gives them actually a little bit better from a production standpoint of what the expectation was for Clay. And if, to your point, we get a Wiggins to come back and play, he doesn't even have to me, play like the championship, a style that he was playing or in that form. But if he just comes back and he's the Wiggins from a season ago, I think that they're much better off.
If they get an interested Wiggins.
Well, I don't know if it's interest, or I don't know if it's passion. I don't know if it's mental.
Demeanor on the floor,
right. I'm just saying if he just give me what he gave them the season before last. I don't know if he was interested then so much either. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but I'm just saying production wise, if he just comes back and
he just need more from him.
That's it, bro. If he comes back and he just can offer what he gave them a season ago, not last season, but the season prior, I think they're a much better team with the Buddy Hield addition. I had the Lakers finishing at 9, down 2 spots from last season because they didn't add anything. I don't think that you can, in a stacked West, the way that these other teams in the West have added pieces, I just don't think that you can stay the same when you weren't very good to begin with, and then you could be considered like a better team or a contending team. Or I don't see it. I would like to see it. I'm interested in seeing what JJ Redick adds in terms of his offense. Maybe that, you know what I mean, what he's bringing in terms of style of play and culture, that comes along with that actually helps them with the personnel that they have. I like the some of the players that the Lakers do have. I'm a Rui fan. I love what Rui brings and how he plays. I'm a huge fan of D'Lo. I just love D'Lo, but I think that classically on teams with D'Lo, from being a young player, through to now, it was either you just get this kid that's like, I'm a bucket and I'm going to be a bucket, or you get this kid that really doesn't understand his role. So that's kind of where I have him with the Lakers, where he just doesn't quite understand, what his role is, but then he's classically inconsistent, you know what I mean, as a result on offense, and that just kind of messes him up. So we'll see. Hopefully it gets better.
I think with D'Lo is that once his role is defined, I think he does great. So, and I think JJ,
his role was definitely defined with the Lakers. I just think that he was just wildly inconsistent, and so that's what kind of messed it up.
I think JJ will define his role, and I think he'll
flourish in this JJ offense.
We'll see. Be good.
We'll see. And if so, then maybe they finish higher than 9. Where I have them, but I have them at a solid 9, even if JJ figures it out, just because they didn't add any value in terms of that roster, and I just don't see him. You know what I mean? Like just being, like a contender amongst even these teams that are above them. I think those other teams are just much stronger teams. With the return of Ja Morant, I actually wanted to flip-flop these, you know what I mean, to have, because I'm bigger on Memphis than I am on the Lakers. I almost had the Lakers like the Clippers, not even making the playoffs this year, but I didn't want to be utterly disrespectful.
Right.
But, I'm big on the Memphis team. I hope that hopefully Ja can stay healthy. And this team that they have, they can get back to what they were, prior to last season and all the distractions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, they were what I expected from in Oklahoma City. I expected them to actually figure it out faster than Oklahoma City figured it out last year, which is why I had Memphis very high in my predictions from last season prior to the season starting, and I had Memphis high and I had Oklahoma City low, and it ended up flip flopping. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Right.
So the Clippers I have finishing 7 slots worse than last season. I have them finishing at 11. I have them at 11, so it's kind of knocking on the door of the play-in. I don't want to be utterly disrespectful, just in case Kawhi figures it out this season and he can put it together and still be that Kawhi that we know that he can be when he's healthy. But I just don't even have them making the play-in if it plays out the way that I think.
So that you just let me be disrespectful.
That's it. I mean, you put him at 13, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your opinion, brother. It's got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? At number 12, I have the young Houston team. I was bigger on Houston than I am on the Clippers, but again, I didn't want to be utterly disrespectful. Right. The young Houston Rockets team finished 41-41 last season.
Oh,
that's 500. It's a 500 team, bro. I think that they improve on that 500 this season, just like slightly. And maybe that slightly is enough to get them into play-in. Depending on how the injuries shake up for these other teams, they could possibly find themselves in there. Yeah. San Antonio I had at 13 just because I didn't really consider the Chris Paul addition being like an impactful addition, meaning Chris Paul will be out there playing and hooping with these kids. And really, I was thinking of him more as that veteran leadership, helping to sustain the culture. Even when he's in the game, just helping to kind of be the coach on the floor, showing these kids kind of how to run inside of the system with Pop system. But who knows if Chris can stay healthy and he can just literally do the bare minimum, meaning just contribute the way that he contributes and the way that he has throughout his incredible career.
10. You're gonna hit them 5 elbow shots.
He's gonna get those. So
we'll see. You're gonna get at least 5 assists out of Wemby. So
we'll see, bro. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's gonna be nice.
It's the potential for San Antonio to make a little bit more noise this season, I think, is there as well. I have Utah just because they're just kind of in the space of chaos, finishing at 14, and in rebuilding mode. And then Portland, same as last season, finishing at the bottom of the Western Conference because, again, I just think that they are a very young team. They just have to figure out how to win together. It's not because they don't have the personnel. It's just because they just have to figure out how to get it done. And maybe they're the team that comes in and just turns the page this year and figures it out after having a full season of playing the way that they played. So again, I want to thank you, brother, for sitting there.
I appreciate the invite.
This has been Opinion Stated. Yeah, this has been Opinion Stated. My name is Cosme once again. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the other videos on my page as well. Very insightful information on those. Want more content like this, man, keep supporting it. Love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, blessings.